welcome to the New Zealand Broadcasting School. I'm Zoe George, a second-year radio student.
And I'm Andrew McFarlane, a second-year journalism student. Tonight on the show, we're going to look at what it takes to be a smart, attractive, intelligent and humble student of the New Zealand Broadcasting School.
We'll be taking a look through some of the highlights of the degree, meet the tutors and chat to the head of B School, Tony Simons, about the internship program.
But before we get to any of that, it's time to look at some of the technical stuff. So right now, I'm speaking into a camera.
A camera? Really, Andrew? I had no idea. In fact, what you're not seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is that Andrew's lines are being fed to him via an auto cue.
Something you can see right over here on camera 3.
Something journalists tend to do quite frequently.
Oh, Zoe, well, at least us journalists can read, unlike some radio students here in the audience tonight. Anyway, you'll find it at your time here at Broadcasting School. We have some of the most high-tech gear in the industry. TV students get to use these brand new high-def cameras to produce a whole entire range of TV shows, from kids shows to light entertainment to our very own news program, Metro News. We also have some nifty toys, such as our very own drone and this jib arm right over here. It's all industry standard equipment, so we get a real feel for what it's like out there in the business.
You might be wondering how we're putting this show together tonight. Well, it's being coordinated through the control room upstairs, which is where all the magic happens. Right now, we've got Luke in there. He's a second year, there he is, TV student directing the show tonight. Give us a wave, guys. There they are.
There we go. So as you can see, it's a little bit like mission control up there. A lot of buttons, don't touch anything you're not meant to. And you may be wondering what you need to become a really good television student.
Well, the words motivated, inspired and driven are all foreign to Andrew. They describe the perfect TV student. Each year, around 20 are picked to study screen and TV production, which is one of the 3 streams we offer here. These students learn camera work, editing, directing jobs like floor management and production management. In short, all the crucial behind-the-scenes jobs. Here's a look at the kind of things they do.
Follow the moves and they up. 2, follow the move. Yep, go left, go left. There it is. 2, cut. 31. 2, cut.
Hi, I'm Richard Hanson and I am a first year tutor here at the New Zealand Broadcasting School. Today we're here at Nunweek Park where we are staging our outside broadcast with Sky Television. Every year Sky TV partner with us to do an outside broadcast where we capture a live event. In this case it's hockey, and we have a 6-camera OB that the students are manning and crewing. They're taking on all of the roles today. They're going to be camera operators, sound operators, they're going to be doing the instant replays on the EVS machines, commentators, audio directors, vision controllers, the lot really.
Well, it's been a chilly few days here in Christchurch and today's no exception.
I'm on the scissor lift with camera 1 and camera 2.
I'm the floor manager for the first game.
First game going to be an EVS operator, and the EVS machine is essentially slow motion replays.
Prior to this, we've been in the Sky TV OB garage doing training. We have industry professionals manning all of the key positions and training the students so that they're competent with the equipment.
Good work, fellas.
It's a really good exercise. It is very real world. It puts a lot of pressure on the students, but they respond really, really well. Multi-camera sports OBs are a massive part of the industry, and it's somewhere where the students can really find a great career. So we really appreciate the opportunity with Sky Television.
Okay, so what if you're not keen to get behind the camera? What in fact it's your destiny to be in front of the camera?
I think Andrew's talking about our journalism stream.
Yes, it's the 2nd stream at the New Zealand Broadcasting School, Broadcast Journalism. Once again, around 20 students are picked every year, and while you won't be in front of the camera immediately, in the first year you get to operate a fully functioning commercial radio station, putting together news bulletins every hour on the hour. In your 2nd year you move on to television news, putting together a half-hour news program we call Metro News. So here's a sneak peek behind the scenes on how it's all put together.
Roll Alpha. Take it. 5 on-air shows, 70 students and 1 chance to get it right.
Kia ora, welcome to Metro News.
But the question is, how do you get the story from out in the field to your screen at home? The first thing we needed was a new set. So Chris, tell me how you got the desk.
The old 7 Sharp desk. Well, TVNZ kindly donated us that. Thanks to Mainfreight, who kindly brought it down for free. It's currently sitting in our studio.
Nice one, guys. But although there's a set, we need some news. And this is where it all happens, the TV newsroom. This is the first time the 2nd year journalism students have taken on TV news, gathering the pictures to tell the story. So Cam, what's the process of making a news story?
Well, Jared, there's a lot of things you have to do. First, you've got to find and plan the story. then you've got to actually go and shoot the story, then you've got to come back and shot list what you've got, then you've got to script it, and finally you send it off to editing.
That looks great. And once it's edited here, it goes to here, where it's all lined up, ready for tonight's program. When the stories are completed, it's time to put the whole show together. In the studio, it's lights, camera,
Roll Bravo.
the presenters are ready to go. And of course, the heart of it all, the control room. The show's recorded as live every afternoon. The pressure's on. It has to be timed to the second.
Good night.
And that's a wrap. Nearly. Well, that's behind the scenes of Metro News. Better wrap this thing up. This needs to go on the air onto CTV at 7 sharp. Jared McCulloch, Metro News.
Jared, what a talented guy. You might like to know that he was only here just a couple of years ago and now he's in charge of the news at CTV.
However, if journalism isn't necessarily your cup of tea, we've got one more option which might be perfect for you.
Radio broadcasting students are kept in a building across the road. We run our commercial station every year, and this year it's called Summit 96.1. As a part of the course, we are required to target an audience that doesn't get sufficient coverage in Christchurch. Every year 3 stations are pitched to the industry and only 1 gets chosen. And this one, Summit 96.1, is aimed at the white collar businessmen. So this video is explaining how our new station works.
Hi, I'm Anna Henvest. I'm the station manager for Summit. Summit is the new radio station for the New Zealand Broadcasting School. We're launching on May 9th. This is a station that's made entirely from the students, so it's a really exciting, busy time. And I'm going to show you around how to make a radio station. Step 1 is programming. So when you're making a new radio station, it's really important on deciding who you're actually going to target. So Summit's primary target is 40 to 55-year-old white-collar working professional businessmen in Christchurch. So programmers decide how the station is going to sound in its entirety, right down to every song that is played. Step 2 is sales. So in order for the station to go to air, we need to meet a sales target.
Yeah, Steve, it's Jesse from the Broadcasting School. How are you?
Everybody has to participate in that, and we sell advertising to local businesses. The third step is promotions, so we need to make sure that everybody knows that we have got a new radio station out there. The way that we're going to do this is we've got a station car that's going to be hitting the streets. They'll be giving out prizes and interacting with listeners so that everybody knows about Summit. Step 4 is creative, so once a sale has been made, then this gets passed on to the creative team who create the ads and make sure that we have a good sales campaign. Step 5 is production, so once these creative briefs have been made, they then get passed on to the production team who make the station sound like magic. Step 6 is web and producers, so these people are in charge of making sure that we have great content for Summit. So they'll be looking for interviews, putting things up online and making sure that we're really nailing what our Summit listeners want to hear and talk about. And finally, step number 7 is voice. So these are our presenters. They make sure that our target listeners are really catered to and keeping them interested and engaged, whether they're at their workplace, on the go, or chilling out at home. So that's how you make a radio station, but listening to it is a lot easier. So check out 96.1 if you are in Christchurch, or you can head to our website, summit961.co.nz, or we're on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Well, seeing we're talking about Summit, why don't I talk to us about advertising with Summit?
Oh, I'd rather you'd not, but you're going to anyway, aren't you, Zoe?
I am. You're not wrong, Andrew. For all you business people in the crowd tonight...
How'd you even get that my back?
You've really got to consider advertising with Summit. We've got some competitive rates, and because we're student-based...
Okay, Zoe, I'm going to have to just stop you there. That's enough. Salespeople, always looking for an opportunity. Anyway, one of the great things about this course is once you've done your 2 years here in Christchurch, you begin your internship. So right now we have a very special guest coming to join us. He's the head of the New Zealand Broadcasting School, and his name is Tony Simons. Give him a round of applause.
So, Tony, talk to us about how the internship process works.
Okay, so in the 3rd year of the degree, every student who studies here does an internship in order to complete. It's a 24-week placement. Students will do their internship anywhere in New Zealand. Most internships are done in the North Island, and most of those are done in Auckland because that's where all the jobs are. So if you're coming to the New Zealand Broadcasting School, you've got to be prepared to work anywhere in the country. And the internship is basically like assessed work experience. So for that period of time, the students will work 40 hours a week minimum. They will be assessed as if they were employees, and at the end of that process, all going well, they will pass the internship, many of them with exceptionally good grades, and at that point graduate with the Bachelor of Broadcasting Communications.
Okay, so the people who go into the internship process, how many actually get a job at the other end?
It varies from year to year. Last year, 97% went straight into full-time employment. I've worked here since 1996. I think the least successful group was 91% of interns went into full-time employment. So it's an exceptionally successful program in terms of getting jobs when you graduate.
Perfect, thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Now, one more thing you may be pondering is accommodation. Well, the student residence here at ARA is just a stone's throw away, and it's called Otatahi House, or O House.
Actually, speaking of student life, it's time for some prizes.
Yes, that's right. Tonight we're giving away some very special gifts. If all of you could please stand up and check underneath your seats right now.
I know, this isn't Oprah, it's the broadcasting school, but you're forgiven if you got confused. You get a prize. Everybody gets a prize. There's only 2 of you. Don't get excited. Yes, we've got one of our lucky winners over here. If you'll please stand up. Please stand up. And if you look down camera 1 over there and give everyone a giant wave just behind you. There we go. Round of applause, everyone. Now, you've actually won something us broadcasting students here like to call Maggie's 2-minute noodles, or 2-minute noodles, as you probably know. And we've also given you a double movie pass here as well.
And we should have another winner just over here. Could I get you standing up? Oh, thank you. I recommend going to see Finding Dory. And could you give us a cheeky wave just to camera 3?
Hey, there we go.
But parents, don't worry. Aside from getting scurvy from a mainly noodle-based diet, your children will be fine. O House is conveniently located only a few steps away. So when your alarm goes off for the 6th time at 5:59 and you have 1 minute to get to the studio, it's no hassle. Take a look at this.
Otatahi House is open to all domestic students outside of Christchurch, and they have to be studying at least a full-time course for at least 1 year. Otatahi House is across the road from CPIT, and there's about 12 apartments, and so that's 6 people in each, and there's laundry facilities and car parking facilities and internet facilities as well. So this is our kitchen, and it came with the stove and the fridge and lots of space for your food, and there's enough room for everyone. And over here is our living room. A great way to chill with the flat and everything. It comes with a TV and couches. Down here are the 6 bedrooms, so it's a really great way to meet people. This is my room. It came with the bed, the cabinet, desk, wardrobe, so it's everything you need really, and you can move it around however you like, make it your room away from home. It gets cleaned a couple of times a week, so that's really cool for us. We're quite busy. I've met some great people here, definitely friends for life, and we've got really great support, and it's so cool that it's so close to CPIT, so I can just walk across the road. Yeah, it's really great. I really recommend it to people.
Just one more thing about O House. Put your name down really, really quick because it fills up very quickly.
Yes, now the New Zealand Broadcasting School isn't just your ticket to the broadcasting industry, it's actually your ticket to the world.
Yes, the New Zealand Broadcasting Mafia, as we like to call it, has a worldwide network. Here's a little taste of what some of our graduates are up to overseas.
My name's Alistair Coburn. I'm the station producer for Classic FM. So we're in London, we've got 8 radio stations and 2 TV stations here. So I've been doing this job about 2 years. Got a phone call while I was in the middle of Europe saying you've got a job interview in London. Worked out quite well. London's the greatest city on earth, I think. There's so much to do here, it's just such a vibrant place. My first year in the UK, I think we saw about 10 different countries. 2 weeks ago we were in Wales, a week before that we were in Prague. It's really amazing. I mean, Classic FM, we've got 5.3 million listeners every week, so it's more than the entire New Zealand population. I'll be writing promos, writing trails, writing imaging, writing commercials as well. I got nominated for a Sony Radio Award for a promotional campaign which I worked on. The skills that I've got from my study, they really stand up. It taught me a lot about how the entire radio industry works, like from sales to production to on-air to writing. Once you're done, you've got the internship, you get straight into a job, and from there you're off. I mean, the world's your oyster basically.
My name is Aaron Soma, from New Zealand originally. Now I'm working at the BBC in London, at BBC World as a producer. So I went to broadcasting school, studied there, and then got my internship at TVNZ. Decided London was calling, so came here, started working at BBC World, and I've been here for about 3 or 4 months now. Absolutely just fell in love with this place. I mean, it's incredible. It's like a dream for any journalist. And to know that what you're producing is going out to tens of millions of people every hour, people watching it around the globe. It's incredible. There's that saying, the city that never sleeps, and this is one of those, of course. It's a huge, huge place. Great different little pockets of the city. It's amazing, it's always buzzing. At the moment I'm working night shifts, so that's overnight. So I start at about 10 p.m. and finish at 7 a.m. You know, when I arrive, America is just going to sleep, but Asia is opening up, and then Europe starts to open up. So it feels like a bit of a dream actually to be working here. The course is great because it's very much in line with what the industry is doing, and that's really important because it gives you this kind of almost this worldly knowledge of what's actually happening. It can lead you to this big wide world. You can do whatever you want to do, put your mind to it, and get out there and see what's around.
My name is Ella Cook. I'm a television production manager in London. I work for a company called Red House Television. I work on property shows, comedy and entertainment. I worked as the production assistant on New Zealand's Got Talent, on Target, on What Now. I came to London nearly 4 years ago now. Didn't have any issues finding a job at all. I went to a company called Hat-Trick Productions. We won a BAFTA last year, as well as were nominated this year. To even be nominated and go to the awards was something I never ever thought that I would ever do, but then to also win it and go up on the BAFTA stage was just a brilliant feeling. I love living in London. Definitely a big change from living in New Zealand. There's so many people, it's so busy and bustling all the time. I also love being able to just go to the theatre or see something different every night. The professionalism that we are taught at broadcasting school really helps in the wider world. I had my degree on my CV as well as the work experience that I'd gained after my internship. I would never have thought that I'd get this far. It's the best thing that I ever did for my career. There's no way that I would be where I am today without the degree that I have.
Okay, so earlier we talked about the internship program, and joining us now live are some interns who are actually out in the industry at the moment. Starting with our journalism intern, we've got Caitlin Miles, so a round of applause please.
So Caitlin is now a reporter at The Star. What are some of the key skills that you picked up from broadcasting school that you implemented into your internship?
There are honestly so many, you won't even realise, but there are all of these really important skills, like being able to pick up the phone on my first date and make interview calls without even worrying about it. It was straight away, straight into the game. There were all of these skills. I write mainly for print, but I also write for TV. And so it was so easy to pick up the skills that I learnt here, exactly how to write, structure a story and get straight into it. It was never a problem for me, just being able to go straight in there and make up these great stories and be able to have all of these wonderful things that I got to cover at broadcasting school. I covered so many different kind of issues and articles, and so I got to move straight into my internship, and it wasn't a scary process. My first day was not as horrifying as I thought it was going to be because I've got all these skills from broadcasting school behind me. It was really not a problem at all.
And how's The Star going for you now?
It's so exciting. Like every day I love going to work because I know that every day is going to be different. There are all these incredible people to talk to. You just don't realise who's in your city until you talk to them. And so being able to make this wide range of contacts and get to know all these incredible people is just awesome, and I just love the team that I work with, and getting to do TV and print stories. I put my hand up every time, and the opportunities are just fantastic. I love it.
Hey, well, thank you so much for coming in tonight, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
And up next, this is Catherine Allwood. Now, you're an account manager at EZME in Christchurch, so how does the internship scheme, how's it been working for you?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
I guess my essay results soon will say, to be honest. No. It's really wonderful. There's so many incredible things that you didn't know you needed to know, but I do think that broadcasting school prepares you really well for that. The fact that you are in streams with, I guess I was in the radio course, but you do projects with the journalism students and also the television students. And having that background knowledge is really, really handy. So account managing, going out, meeting with clients, knowing, I guess, the background of radio, but also having that skill into how the ads are made, how they're created, what it's like for the production team, makes it really helpful. There's some account managers who don't come from that background at all or a radio background at all, and I think that's been so handy for this position. But in saying that, where am I going with this? in saying that, broadcasting school is awesome because I've edited and filmed things for the hits. I've done on-air for Hokanui. Like, there's so many other opportunities within a smaller market, I guess, being in Christchurch. That means you get to kind of use lots of different skills that you didn't actually... I never thought I'd been doing film, but I recorded stuff on the weekend and it's up online for the hits, so it's really cool.
So then with that wide skill set you've gained through broadcasting school, has it been tricky going from school then to actually in the industry?
No. That's been awesome.
Perfect. Well, we wish you the best with your future there as well.
Cool. Feel like I'm here.
There we go.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And finally, we have a TV intern. This is Esther Rogers, and she's a producer at Tandem Studios. How are you doing tonight, Esther?
Good, thank you.
So how did the skills that you learnt at broadcasting school help you in your internship?
It was so great. I mean, on my first day, I was filming for On the Land, which is a TV show which I'm a camerawoman for, and you are chucked in the deep end. You have to pack up the studio and you have to film, and the director's calling shots, and knowing that and having that training behind you is so helpful. But also when we do work with the radios and journos, that you learn different skills, and I'm now a producer of a podcast. So having that and learning that journalism skills with writing blogs and all of that, it's so great in the production process as well.
Yeah, and now it's going good? It's all good?
Yeah,
nice
it's
and easy?
fantastic. Being in Christchurch, you meet so many wonderful people, and where I am, it's such a small, tight-knit group, and they're so lovely and supportive, and the best thing is if you help them, they'll help you, and just, yeah, it's great. I love it.
That's perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Esther.
Now, believe it or not, we actually have some celebrity guests in the studio we'd like to introduce to you. First up, we've got Richard Hanson, the first-year TV tutor, and he looks after the studio and runs it as a pretty tight ship. We've also got the wise, the proper Vicky Wilkinson-Baker, who's a second-year journalism tutor and also a secret dog lover.
And then we've also got Mr. Brendan Riley, the baby-faced second-year radio tutor. And then we've got Mr. Isaac Speeding just over there. He fixes everything that we break. We do have two media ecology tutors, but unfortunately they can't be here tonight. Now, those of you who are here will be around... these guys will be around for the next hour or so. So if you need any questions answered or want to have a look around, please stay behind. And we've even got some autographs that they will sign, like, if you want an autograph.
I actually bought my one. I've got 100 of these out back if anyone wants one. So feel free.
Thank you.
Oh, it's okay, Zoe.
Who has a face for radio now?
Oh.
Sorry.
Rude. Speaking of signing things, if you want to sign up, good segue there, for a position on one of our 3 streams of the broadcasting degree, head online to the ARTA website and begin the 3-part application process specific to each stream.
We hope you've had a great evening and gained some insight into what we do here at the Broadcasting School. You're now invited to have a look around for yourself.
Yes, so that's the end of our show, and it's great to have you joining us. And don't forget, you can tune into the 6 o'clock news with Mike McRoberts and Hilary Barrett. Oh no, she doesn't work there anymore. Does anyone work at TV3 anymore?
Good save, Andrew.
Okay,
I'm Zoe George.
And I'm Andrew McFarlane.
Good night.